What's going on, everybody? How we doing? Welcome to Basics with Babish Live. Tonight we're making quesadillas, the Tex-Mex classic, near and dear to my heart, even though I am not from the Southwest. But I mean, come on, who doesn't love quesadillas? How we all doing, folks? I see some Frasier lyrics there. Wow, we got a good turnout for the beginning of the live stream. I'm sorry about the tinsel back here, but we were celebrating Mardi Gras very, very, very late yesterday, or the other day, because we were surprising a dear friend of ours. There's going to be a nice surprise guest on this week's episode of Being with Babish, which comes out tomorrow. I can hear myself in this earpiece, and that's really annoying. But it's too late now, so we're going to deal with it. I see we got some first timers here. Welcome everybody who's here for the first live stream. I have a $1.99 super chat from Super Fish or something. Fish. Thank you, Fish. Thank you, Peter Robinson, for your $1 super chat. Thank you guys very much. Super chats tend to get pretty out of control midstream, so I think we should start here. We'll start with a little bit of questions. Anybody who wants to talk or chat with me, I'll take a look at the comments here. And then we'll get cooking, and I won't be able to see the comments for a little bit, but I hope you guys are cooking along with me tonight, because this is a super easy one. Really all you need is a little bit of oil, tortillas, cheese, any fillings that you like. It truly is basics. We're back to basics with this. How's my focus here? I'm just gonna check focus super quick. It's good, we're good. I'm gonna pour myself a drink. We're gonna take a look here. Yeah, so we got a lot of newcomers. For anybody whose first time it is here, I'd like, oh yeah, all right, we're killing this off. Yeah, Dulmore 15. Just happened to have a little sippy sip left here. For anybody who is, if it's your first time here, I'd like to introduce you to the folks in the other room, making it all happen. The man behind the curtain, we have Sawyer Jacobs.
Oh, yo. Hello, everyone. Welcome. Happy draft day.
Happy draft day indeed. We'll be watching the draft tonight and eating quesadillas. Also in the other room, we have Vincent Cross, who you might know as Vinny, previously from It's Live with Brad and now on Being with Babish. Vinny, you want to say hi to the nice people?
Yeah, let me bring Vinny over here. He's listening for the levels, so he's a couple seconds delayed.
Well, we have Peter Reinelts, who's a new member. Thank you for becoming a member of the channel. Peter, for anybody who's interested, channel memberships are if you sign up to be a member of my channel, you can get early access to every episode, which I post the night before it goes live. Some exclusives, some behind the scenes, some bloopers, and you hear about it there first. So check it out if you are interested. The membership button is right next to the subscribe button. And I'm sure Vinny's over by the mic now, so Vinny, why don't you say hi to the nice folks?
Here he comes.
Hey, what's going on? We're over here editing a new episode of Being.
He's editing and he's moderating. We're both moderating, and we're doing our best, you know?
It gets hairy. Live, it gets a little hairy. We got a €5 super chat from Stegosaurus. How you doing? I'm doing good, Stegosaurus. Thank you very much for the super chat. And I'm doing good. How you doing? Scotch is probably not the best combo for quesadillas. I didn't really think this through. I just saw it on my bar and I was like, ooh, I want that. So, yeah, what are you gonna do? What is it gonna be bad? No, I don't think so. We have a 10 pound super chat from Simon McMatterson. Can't stay for the stream. 6 a.m. for work. One of my emoticons, custom emoticons that you get as part of your channel membership. But good luck with the stream, dude. Thank you so much, Simon. Thank you for hanging out for as long as you could, and I hope you have a good. 6 a.m. for work. Wow. Get some rest or get going, depending on what part of the world you're in. But thank you very much for the super chat, and I hope you have a great day at work. Thank you guys so much for coming out, hanging out. I'm just watching the stream here on my iPad, and just trying to keep an eye on things. Going to be a short stream tonight because quesadillas are very, very easy, but also I forgot to buy steak, so we only have chicken, so we're going to be doing veggie quesadillas and chicken quesadillas. I'm going to be making them for a couple friends, or maybe just one friend, I guess, coming over. friend of the show, Nathan Duckles. He'll be joining us to watch the draft, and he might be popping in towards the end of the stream to say hi and to eat a quesadilla. So eat a quesadilla, if you will. We have a $5 super chat from Peyton Bergman. First stream had to tune in for quesadillas. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for the super chat. I'm sorry for any times that I stumble over what I'm saying, but I can hear my own voice in my earpiece, and it's kind of driving me wild. Son of a Pizza Man is here. Thank you very much for the super chat. I think you know what I'm going to ask. Yes, I know what you're going to ask. Shout out your channel. Go check out Son of a Pizza Man. Son of a Pizza Man is here. Thank you for the super chat. We got a new member. We got Jessica Hollis. Thank you for joining the channel memberships. I appreciate it. So, since this is such an easy recipe, I did not do any mise en place or anything like that. So we're just going to prepare everything live. So here we go. The first thing we should probably do is get our vegetables ready. So I'm going to grab those out the fridge. Oh, ooh, that's loud. Yeah, this earpiece is not going to cut it. So I got some peppers, leftover pepper. You know, always save your. Don't be wasteful. I got some nice fresh corn. I got red and green peppers, and I have an onion. And that's going to make for a lovely vegetarian quesadilla. I know I used squash, zucchini on the actual show, but again, didn't get it. Didn't get steak, didn't get zucchini. But that's the beauty of quesadillas, is that you can put pretty much damn near anything you want in there. After all the shrimp that I had last weekend, I wish I had some shrimp to put in there. Shrimp quesadillas would be lovely. Let me address some of these super chats super quick, if you will. Fuego y Plata gave $5 and said hello. Hello, Fuego y Plata. Thank you very much. Pickled fish lips. That sounds gross. Dude, I love your channel, and thanks for getting me back into cooking. That's a lovely thing to hear. Thank you so much for sharing, and thank you for the super chat. Keep cooking, man. Mr. Morgan Watch gave $5 and said, ever thought about Gruyere and pear pie from Pushing Daisies? I've heard of a lot of great food from Pushing Daisies, so that is very tempting, and that sounds interesting. Pear and Gruyere pie. I'm looking into that. Let's see. Anna Pittman gave $5 and said, I love little KACL. Very happy that you noticed that. I think, is that the first time anybody's ever noticed that?
A couple people have asked, and I've been curious.
Well, thank you for noticing that. KACL is, of course, the radio station that was home to one Dr. Fraser Crane. Mike Oxlong gave $20 and said, oh, okay, I see what you're doing. You dick. Well, I'm not going to do that. And I got tricked. Finally, it happened. Thank you for your $20 super chat just to get me to say something dirty. Mike Oxlong. Thank you. Oh boy, I gotta be careful. That one was unassuming. I did not see that one coming. Balthazar228 gave $5 and said, will you ever do the inverse quesadilla, queso fundito? Isn't queso fundito just melted cheese? So, like, you're dipping chips in it, yeah. So does that make it an inverse quesadilla? But if queso fundito is what I think it is, which is just a pot of melted cheese that you dip chips in, that is coming up on an episode of Basics Dips. So keep an eye out for that. We got a new member. We got two new members. We have Jazz Tesh. Thank you for becoming a member of the channel. We have Tyler Pearson. Thank you guys for joining us, and thank you for becoming members. Thank you guys all for your super chats. Again, since this is a quick episode, I think we're gonna keep it snappy. I'm gonna start by grating some cheese. I could probably still answer questions whilst I grate cheese, so that works out. I'm using sharp white cheddar. I'd ideally like to be using yellow cheddar because it just looks prettier. But this is going to be fun. I'm pretty sure yellow cheddar is just food coloring anyway. Pugs Always Win gave two pounds there. Said, what's the worst injury you've ever had while cooking? I think I've answered this one before, but basically I cut myself down to the bone on my pointer finger. I cut myself down this way and straight down to the bone. And it was horrendous and horrifying. And I didn't have health insurance at the time, so I didn't go to the hospital, and it was just it was a bad vibe. We have 20 pounds from Luke Deary. Thank you very much for your very generous super chat. Cupcakes from Cat in the Hat, pizza from A Goofy Movie, and the diner menu from An Emperor's New Groove, particularly the pill bug, to name a few suggestions. That sounds a little gnarly, but Cupcakes from Cat in the Hat, did not know that there were cupcakes in that movie. Is that the one with like Alec Baldwin and Mike Myers and shit? I mean, I really don't want to have to watch that movie again. But I also don't remember that at all from Emperor's New Groove. Pillbug. I haven't seen that since I was a kid. I rewatched the scene when I did Crunk Spinach Puffs, but that is about it. Thank you, Luke Derry. Appreciate it. Wow, we got a lot of super chats coming in. Jortendo, hey, I remember you from last time. $5. Post-Easter question. Would you like to make a ham and a glaze for said ham? I do. Personally, I've never felt the need to glaze a ham more than it already comes glazed. I mean, I've had Coca-Cola or cherry glazed ham. It's perfectly lovely, but I just like ham as it is. Austin Harlow gave $10 and said, challenge you to do a low sodium dish chopped style. Fans vote what your mystery box will have for mandatory ingredients. That's a fun idea and would make a great live stream. Except I'm most definitely going to screw it up somehow. But that is a very fun idea. Thank you very much for the idea and for the generous super chat. $20 from Anthony Timpe. Been watching you since Il Timpano. Just wanted to show you more support. Love what you've been doing these past few years. Watching you regularly got me back in the kitchen. Thank you. That's beautiful to hear. Thank you so much, Anthony, and thank you for the very generous super chat. And thank you for following me for so long, man. Thank you for being here since the Timpano days. Sawyer has been here since, Sawyer and I have been friends since high school, but he's been here since the Timpano days. He was there to taste the Timpano. If you watch the video again, I believe he was standing my right, camera left, I think. But that was like a last-minute dinner party. What was that?
I said it was with my wife, my beautiful wife.
He was there with his beautiful wife, and he was there to support me. Back then, I had like 20,000 subscribers. No, not even. I had like 5,000 subscribers that I only had because I did a video back in college where I mashed up the 300 trailer with Army of Darkness. If you search 300 Army of Darkness, mine should be the first one that comes up. And that gave me my 15 minutes of college fame. I think I got like 200,000 views on that or something, and a few thousand subscribers, and then I just never uploaded anything ever again until now. So you can, just never give up on your dreams, kids. I should have eaten that. I don't know why I tossed that sweet little cheese corner. Oh, we've got some more super chats here. We've got new members. Robert Pritchard, welcome. Thank you for becoming a member. $4.99 from Tyler Marsh. Can you make lefse? It's a Norwegian treat. I'll look into that. Have not heard of that. I assume it's fish-based. But I'll take a look at that. Rude Inception gave $4.99 and said, I'm watching you and Frasier at the same time. What a wonderful life I live. What a wonderful life indeed. I wish I could be watching Frasier at the same time here, but, copyright laws. Sawyer's also my attorney, so he would advise me that I can't exactly have Frasier running in the background necessarily. So I might as well tell you guys who the surprise guest is on tomorrow's episode. You're not going to spoil it. We're having Rashid back, and we surprised Rashid with a very unique, very fun surprise that I think you guys are gonna get a kick out of. So tune in tomorrow, new episode of Being with Babish, where the focus is on teachers, giving back to one teacher in particular in Brooklyn, and giving back to my favorite teacher, Rashid DeRosso, who is a middle school teacher himself, a middle school history and social studies teacher, and one of the best. All right, sorry, I've been missing super chats here. Let's see what's going on. All right, we got $10 from Michael Tanner. You are such an inspiration to people who follow their passions. You're a proof that you can succeed in life and still be humble and good to your fans. That's extraordinarily sweet of you to say. Thank you so much. And yeah, man, you know, becoming a YouTuber is kind of like the new American dream. It's like, you know, it used to be a house and 2.5 kids, but now it's like, I want to become famous on YouTube, and I'm obviously following your passions is very important, and if you have something to say it to the world. But I also am extremely lucky that everything worked out the way it did, and that I get to do this for a living. I'd love to take credit for it, but honestly, it's a lot of people's effort, it's a lot of time, and it's a lot of luck. So the thank you really goes to you guys, and that's the way it is in my book, which is coming out in October. The biggest acknowledgement is to you guys, the viewers, because none of this would be possible without you. And I can't thank you guys enough. I think that's probably enough cheese. I have a little reserved here, just in case. And let me get this out of the way so we can commence to chopping. Let's see here. Ooh, noisy. I'm just gonna get this on out of here. Oh yeah. Yeah, that should take care of us. Hopefully 4 grown men don't eat that much cheese in one night, but I guess we'll see. Am I missing any good questions? Any good stuff here, Jake? What do we got going on?
Well, I was just going to say, you know, obviously we're able to see the super chats as best we can, but we're combing through the comments for any specific cooking questions or questions, you know, that we'd be interested in helping you out with. And Vin and I are putting them together, and we'll get them out to you when he takes a break.
Great. In the meantime, we got some super chats here I can address. We have Sean Carey just gave $20. Thank you so much. When was the last time you read Anthony Bourdain's Kitchen Confidential? Definitely not since he left us, because it would make me way too sad. But I've read it 3 times now. It's obviously, you know, a favorite. It's a lot of fun to read. It's almost like reading an episode of his show. It's written in the same voice, obviously. And I haven't read that in a while, but I'd love to read it again now. I miss him, and it'd be nice to. I'm talking about him like I know him. I've never met him, but I mean, that's one of the great things about him, is that he really made you feel like, you know, you were there with him. And I do miss his storytelling, and I'd be excited to read that again. We have, thank you very much for the generous super chat. We also have OGM0317 gave $10. I want to say thank you for inspiring me to change my major to food science, and would you ever be willing to try making a gluten-free dish? As a person with celiac, I would really like to see that. First off, thank you for your generous super chat. I'm very happy to hear that you're pursuing something that you're excited about, and thank you for saying something so nice as that I had anything to do with that, but congratulations and best of luck to you. Yeah, I actually have a bunch of celiac friends, and typically I like making them things that aren't, you know, faked versions of glutinous foods, like gluten-free pizza or whatever, because it's never going to be as good. There's so many great gluten-free foods out there that are just naturally free of gluten. And that way everybody's enjoying it, and they feel, you know, it's more inclusive. That's the way I like to do it. So what I should do is make a playlist of recipes that just happen to be gluten-free. That seems like a good idea. But also, there are great gluten-free recipes out there for those with celiac and for those with dietary concerns. So yeah, we should definitely do that. Let's add that to the schedule for the next basics, fellas. So I'm just going to put this in the fridge. Ooh, that is very cheddary, which is probably a good thing considering it's cheddar. There we go. All right, that's in the fridge. Just so it doesn't get all greasy. You know, if you leave cheddar out too long, it gets pretty gnarly. I'm just going to clean off my work surface here. And we're going to commence to chopping. Guys, I'm so sorry. I know that you're giving super chats right now, and I'd love to read them, but I do need to get cooking a little bit. So, Vinny and Sawyer, if there are any big pressing ones, if there's any that you think I should answer right now-ish, I am all ears. But other than that, I'm going to commence to chopping. So, oh, I love this knife. Wow. I got this knife in California. And, oh, it's just a beast. Really, guys, you know, that's the first thing to really invest in is a halfway decent chef's knife. I've said it a million times, so I'm not going to harp on it too much. But, you know, we probably got some newcomers here. And And that's, a good knife and a good cutting board are going to elevate your game in ways that you just can't really recognize until you just try it. So, if you're looking to invest in your abilities in the kitchen, say you have $100, you can do a lot with that. You can get a Victorinox 5 Rocks 8-inch chef's knife for, I think, $45. It's wicked sharp. It keeps its edge for a pretty good long time, considering it is stamped and not forged. It's a great little knife, and then you can get a really great cutting board. Probably get a booze block. Save that for when you can really dump money into your kitchen. Maybe first get an OXO. What's it called? OXO butcher board or carving board. OXO carving board is 24 by 18. It's about yay big, and it's just so nice to have a big, beautiful work surface like this table. I'm thankful every day for this table because it just lets me do it all. I'm going with a finer dice than I did in the video because I want these onions to really be part of the filling mixture. I gotta figure out a better way to do that. You know who I hung out with today, folks, is Alvin Kylon. I went over to his restaurant, The Usual, here in New York City, and we are scheming. We are plotting something fun. So keep an eye out. Probably in about a month, we'll be releasing something very fun. So keep an eye out for that. I'm sorry for cutting so slowly, but when I'm talking like this and when I'm trying to engage with you guys, I really don't want to chop a finger off on live. Live streaming. That would probably be an unfortunate blunder. So I'm just, focusing a little bit harder than usual because I don't want to make a mistake like that. But it'd be kind of funny, wouldn't it? Well, sort of. It'd be funny for you guys. For me, that'd be a little sad. It's also a good opportunity to show you guys, good knife discipline. Keep your fingers tucked in. Grab your food like with a claw like this. So if you graze yourself, you're just grazing a little skin off instead of plunging a knife into your finger. All right, we got some super chats here. I should probably. Okay, we have a $100 super chat from GBabyDub11. Thank you so much. That is incredibly generous. I can't thank you enough. That's really, really kind. And to just tell me something so sweet is also like you could have said that with any amount, and I'd be so flattered and just thank you. That's really, really lovely. I think all my prep bowls are in the all my prep bowls are in the dishwasher. So let me grab these so we can really properly do our mise en place. Mise en place, for those of you who don't know, is French for everything in its place. I think it's everything in its place, or place for everything. I'm not entirely sure which one, but it's just the act of getting all your ingredients ready and in the right place and in the right form. So once it comes time to get cooking, you don't have something on the burner. You don't have something on the burner that you have to worry about, and then I also have to chop an onion. It's one of the fundamentals of cooking that a lot of new cooks don't pay attention to, and it's because it's chores. It's boring. I get it. I don't like doing it, but it's really going to make you a better cook. I'm gonna try to go for an equal sized dice on these peppers here. I want to, because I'm probably going to cook the onions with the peppers, and we want to cook them at relatively the same rate. I might start the onions first, but also, who cares? This quesadillas, it's a fun thing. It's not about precision necessarily. It's about fun. No, can't anybody say that quesadillas aren't about fun? I won't listen. Oh, wow, that is such a generous super chat. Thank you very much, GBabyDub11. That was incredibly nice. Jay Solanke gave $10 and said, "You were really awesome. Have learned a lot from you." That's really, really kind of you, Jay. I really appreciate it. Thank you for the super chat, and thank you for saying something that, seriously, that's music to my ears, guys. That's one of the best parts of making this show is hearing that you guys get information out of it, that you enjoy it, and that it gets you cooking. That's really, the most important part to me. Does anybody know a better way to chop a pepper? I gotta learn how to better chop peppers. This is not acceptable. Surely there's a better way. Well, it worked pretty well, but you know, it's bush league. It's low rent. What do we got going on, fellas? We got a $10 super chat from Luke Deary. I remember your name from earlier. Must you emphasize the H in words like whisk? Yeah, man, it's fun. It's funny to me. I know people have a problem with me when I say saucepan instead of saucepan. That's not how I say it in my day-to-day life. It's just funny to me. Yeah, I don't know. But I don't always say that. You know, I say it usually when it's a verb. You know, like whisk that together. But I never call Tiny whisk that. I never go Tiny whisk or anything. But now that I've said that, I'm probably going to do it because that was a lot of fun to do just now. It gave me great pleasure. So, okay. We're getting a little punchy. That's cool. It's Thursday. Week's almost over. Draft is tonight. Who's watching the draft tonight? That starts at what, like 7:30? Don't worry, we're not gonna, or 8, something like that. We're not gonna keep you because this is a real easy one. I always say that. Last week's was a real easy one. Tikka masala was a breeze, but we still went for like 2 hours, didn't we? I think so. You know, live streaming, the longer the better, generally. I'm just gonna refresh this super quick, guys, just because I'm curious how many viewers we have right now, because I can't see it on the iPad. I really need to get my laptop back. This is untenable. 6,000. All right, that's pretty good. Thank you guys for coming and hanging out. It's gonna get interesting soon once I get all my mies and its respective plots. I got my green pepper. All right, I'm gonna burn through this a little faster because you know, we can't be here all day. Sawyer has a wife, okay, and Vinny has a girlfriend, and I can't just be keeping them here all night. Not on the night of the draft. I'm just pulling the ribs out of that pepper, just because they're not gonna hurt you. It's just like kind of nasty. You know, you just want the red stuff. You don't really want the white ribs. This is how I usually do it off camera. I'll chop this up into slices and then just kind of mince them from there. It's just not efficient. Like this vegetable doesn't want to be chopped. I don't think it's resisting. It is resistant to being chopped. But as long as these are small enough to be bite-sized pieces, you know, I really should be marinating the chicken right now. It only needs to go for about 20 minutes, but like 20 minutes minimum. But you know, that's what we're doing tonight. We're doing things fast and easy. We're pretending, you know, it's a weeknight. You just got home. Pretending it's a weeknight. It is a weeknight. We don't have to pretend. It's a weeknight, and you know, just got home. Kids are yelling. Kids are hungry. You know, and you just got to get something out fast. Like quesadillas is a way to go, and it's a way to get their vegetables in them. You know, like we can really, you know, obviously there's cheese, but kids can eat all the cheese in the world. They'll be fine. But they're resilient like that. But you can also load this guy up with vegetables. That's really what I plan to do. All right, so we got some red and green peppers. These aren't chopped really finely enough. I kind of rushed through that. And we're just gonna do the lazy thing, which is just to run the knife through them again. It's okay, who cares? There we go. And yeah, there we go. And I'm going to saute these together with the onions because, you know, peppers and onions, when is that not going to be a good combo? When am I going to be like, oh, I wish there weren't peppers and onions in this quesadilla? Never, unless somebody's allergic, which nobody is. Can you confirm that for me, Jake? Are you allergic to peppers?
Nobody's allergic.
All right, we're good. Here we go. All right, so got our peppers chopped up. Last thing I'm going to do is decorn an ear of corn, which I actually have fresh corn this time in the episode. It was the dead of winter when we shot that stuff, and you know, I could have gotten fresh corn at Whole Foods or something, but it's not going to be very good. Not that this is going to be. What am I saying? It's spring. This is not going to be any better. What am I saying? This isn't going to be any good. But get the silk off of here. Did you guys see the way I got the silk off the corn in that previous episode? What was it? I used a toothbrush, which was very exciting for me. And that became my dedicated silk toothbrush. To get the corn off the ear, we're just gonna make shallow cuts radially around the ear of corn. Just deep enough where we're getting kernels coming off there. We don't want to cut down into the core too much. Maybe I'll have to do both ears. That's not as much corn as I thought. I have a very bad eye for corn amounts. Yeah, good stuff. This is gonna be better than something out of a can probably, but it's still not gonna be very good. I'm also from upstate New York, where we pride ourselves on our summer sweet corn. So is Sawyer in there, and we're both upstate New York 585 boys. And we have any Bills fans in the chat today?
I saw a couple Rochesterians, but I wanted to bring your attention to a $50 super chat asking for more Sopranos episodes. You got it.
Music to my ears. You got it. Artie Bucco does a whole bunch of stuff. First off, thank you very, very, very much for an incredibly generous super chat, and for just that's all I want to hear. I love The Sopranos. Sawyer and I both. Sawyer kind of got me on it. I thought it was good, but then he kind of explained how the parodical, is that the word? The sort of parody nature of it, and the satirical nature of it, and just how messed up some of these people are, and how messed up some of these circumstances are. And it's got to be, I always say it's my favorite show ever made, but I'm not entirely sure. It's probably a top 3. But if you haven't watched The Sopranos yet, get yourself an HBO Go password and get moving, because you're missing out on something really special, and it's probably going to feel a little aged in a few years. It's already feeling that way, all the flip phones and whatnot. Okay, just going to give my work surface a little wipe down here. There we go. Get these guys off of here, little stragglers. There we go. Okay, so, all right, that's everything we need for our veggie quesadillas. Let's get the chicken marinating. We'll make veggie quesadillas while it marinates, and then we'll take it out and we'll make chicken quesadillas. So the chicken is right here. There we are. That's some pretty sharp cheddar in there, which I'm a little annoyed that I got very sharp cheddar, because it's hang on, sorry, I just need a bowl to put this in. I want it on my work surface. There we go. Just because I don't want to have to clean this, and we're just dropping it in the bag anyway and marinating it. I do need a bowl to combine my marinade in. Here we go. Sorry, everything's in the dishwasher. My hands are really sticky from the vegetables. Hang on a second, folks. There we go. A little rinse off. Okay. All right, so for the marinade, we need, first and foremost, we need some fresh garlic. What am I doing? Why am I being so gentle with this bag? I don't owe this bag anything. Here we go. So, as long as we're here, we can keep going over basics. With cloves of garlic, you can just kind of turn and press down on the clove if it's a little firm. If you're having a hard time getting it apart. And then once you start feeling it break up, press down on the top. And there it goes. Just breaks right up. Oh yeah, I love it when they do this. I love it when cloves jump out of their skin. Maybe I spoke too soon. Oh well. Let's see what super chats we're looking at here. Thank you so much again for the Sopranos suggestion, and for the very, very generous super chat. Luke Deary's back. Don't have to do this if you don't want to. It's entirely hypothetical, but have you ever thought about reconstructing the entire two-door feast for Henry VIII? No, I have not thought about that. Now I'm thinking about it. I would have to do some research on that. I assume that it is dastardly complicated, fiendishly so. But yeah, let me look into that. I've always wanted to do a historical recreations thing, but I don't want to step on what's the name of that family that does the the historical dishes. I'm gonna peel this a little faster here. The Townsends.
Townsend's? Oh yeah.
I don't want to step on their turf. You know, that's really what they're up to. I don't think they do, you know, anything from that era. It's all just like what 1800s, 1700s kind of stuff. American, you know, new American, early colonial America kind of stuff. But you know, it'd be very interesting to see what food from that era was like, especially, you know, both food for poor and impoverished people, and also the food for the opulent, for the rich. It'd be very, very interesting to see. I'm also doing something different this time. I didn't do this in the video, and I wish that I did. I'm just crushing the garlic, okay? Releasing that Allison, as you know who would say, as my man Brad would say. And also, by crushing it, we're going to get the flavor in the marinade, but we're also not going to have tiny little pieces of garlic all over the chicken that are going to burn, because that's what happens. You get tiny little pieces that you can't get off, and we're trying to get the garlic off of the chicken after it's done marinating. So I'm just going to crush it, which is going to get the nice flavor in there. But then we can very clearly see those in there, and it's not going to get in the way of searing and sautéing our chicken. So we got the garlic in there. That's the most important ingredient, in my opinion. Now I'm also going to hit it with maybe like 2 to 3 tablespoons of olive oil. The juice of probably just 1 lime. We only have a little bit of chicken, so we don't have to go crazy with this marinade. But the juice of 1 lime. So what I'm doing right now is I'm just rolling the lime against the countertop before slicing it, which is going to make it a lot easier to juice. It's basically just like pre-squeezing it for you. So now, with one hand, I can. Oh, just got squirted. Yeah, just it's much easier to squeeze, and yeah, try doing it next time you make yourself a margarita. Oh man, I wish we had stuff for margaritas. That'd be way better than scotch right now, but I don't have any tequila. Shoot. I have an empty bottle of Corzo over there. That's about it. I love Corzo. Oh, we've had some super chats here. What do we got? We have Luke Deary's back. You can just watch Simple History. They cleared it up. All right, I'll check that out. Gawain gave £5 and said, "Why have you not seen the new movie? You know, the one that starts with an A and second E. By the way, one superpower. What movie is? Oh. Yeah, no, the movie that shall not be named. I have not seen it yet because it came out today, but I am dying to see it. I'm dying to see what happens, and I know everybody's going around saying spoilers in the comments right now, which is mean, and that's why I'm staying away from long comments so I don't catch anything that I don't want to see. Let's see. Sauce Stash gave $10. Hi from an old school subscriber. Creators helping creators. That's absolutely true. Creators should help other creators. Thank you for being a longtime subscriber, dude. I do remember, I think we had an exchange on Twitter a long time ago. And thank you so much for sticking with me. I appreciate it. And thank you very much for the super chat. Stone Cold Silver. Some of these usernames are so hard to hard to pronounce. I see what you're doing. Somebody else tried to get me to say something dirty. Bring it on. Uh-oh, I shouldn't have said that. Capiosus Insecta gave $5 and said, Babish, have you seen any cyberpunk movies or anime like Ghost in the Shell? Yes, Ghost in the Shell is great. Gawain's back with £5. I said they showed it yesterday from here in the UK. Lucky you guys. I have not had the chance to get out the house yet to go see it. And this weekend, I am going to see Hamilton. So that's going to be like 3.5 hours of my life. So I don't have time to do both, unfortunately. So I'm going to have to wait until early next week probably to see Avengers Endgame. All right, also right now I'm adding a little bit of smoked paprika. Normally I'd go regular paprika, but I am fresh out. And smoked paprika is going to be nice. It's going to add, as you might have guessed, a nice smoky flavor to it. Some other important ingredients include, but are not limited to, a little shake of cayenne, like my man Chef John would do, and a little shake of cumin, which I just had to replace because I was fresh out. So let me get the flavor seal off of this. Let's see. Let's see here. What's going on with you guys? Just while I'm doing this. Some people, I love this. They're having like conversations with me by giving $5. I appreciate you guys. Stone Cold Silver. I know you're trying to get me to say something. I'm not going to say it. Thank you for the super chat. Walter M. Peacock gave. Wait, is that a thing? Did he just make me say something? Walter M. Peacock. I'm nervous now. 1350. Very, very specific number. Thank you so much. This is the first time I've ever given money to a stream. You should do a knife sharpening apps, maybe with Perfection, who is not a good cook but has a channel on getting best edge on a knife. Cool, I'm gonna check that out. I haven't seen Perfection, but I'd love to check it out. Knife sharpening is an art, honestly. I did do knife sharpening in kitchen care and maintenance. There's a basics episode on kitchen care. And we do touch on knife sharpening, so go check that out. I'm definitely not going to be a master of it like that gentleman or lady, or whoever it is. You should do some dishes from Monster Hunter. There's this big meat platter that I am dying to do from Monster Hunter. It looks delicious. All right, so in here we've got all the ingredients. We also need nice pinch of kosher salt, and I have some freshly pestled pepper here. Anybody who saw yesterday's episode knows that my pepper grinder, or Tuesday's episode knows that my pepper grinder is compromised. And there we go. This is a very, very simple, super flavorful marinade that is going to penetrate the chicken deeply. Within 30 minutes, it's going to really hit it with a lot of flavor. And I know what I just said, and I'm not laughing. But at least 20 minutes, if not up to 4 hours. Don't go too long though, because there is a lot of acid in this, and then the chicken can get mushy. I'm gonna rinse this chicken off real quick. Maybe Jake, you can fill me in on some questions or anything, just because I hate like all the chicken juice on packaged chicken. So I'm just gonna rinse this off super quick.
Cool, yeah. I see a request here for the curry from Naruto. I think I remember that being delicious looking, so that sounds like a great suggestion from Logan. Thank you very much for that.
Thank you, Logan. Yes, we have definitely seen Naruto ramen has had its fair share of requests, and it just feels too similar to other ramens that I've done on the channel, so I haven't been super open to it, but I'll revisit it and take a look at it. Anyway, sorry, go ahead, Jake.
Jake Murray has a good question. Being a film fanatic, does the channel make you check more movies out that you wouldn't if you weren't making these vids?
That's one of the best parts of this channel, is that I've definitely been exposed to a lot of things that I might not have otherwise. Sorry for the gross noises, it's just the sink, I promise. I've been exposed to so many things that I might not have seen otherwise. Doing research and just, generally trying to find new material and suggestions from so many people. I really appreciate the suggestions, guys. It's really where most of the ideas come from for this show. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to start by putting these guys back in their bowl. And then I'm just going to take the bag, and just to sort of prevent cross-contamination too much, obviously you're playing with fire here, I'm going to fold down the top of the bag a little bit, open up the gut. Nice gusset. That's a nice gusset, guys. You guys ever watch Steve 1989 MRE Info? Oh my God, I love it so much. He reviews MREs, and he's got the most sophisticated palate and way of describing things. I remember he was smoking a cigarette out of a World War II ration. So this this 70-year-old cigarette that he's smoking, and he's like, camels of this era are reminiscent of gardenias. It's like, I love you, dude. I love you so much. I say that in my day-to-day life. I say, nice, okay. Like, I say that like 10 times a day, probably. Okay, in goes the marinade. These normally I would butterfly these chicken breasts, but they're really thin, so they're already quite thin. These are kind of wimpy little chicken breasts. So we're just gonna hit them with the marinade, and I'll probably just fry them or saute them, sear them, and then I don't know, could finish them in a low oven. So there we go. Push all the air out. Give that a little massage. What do we got here? We have a $14.99 super chat from Diego Galindo. He says, "You got a rollie on your wrist." Yes, sir. I am kind of a watch freak, and I've never thought that I'd be able to get into watches in the way that I have, and I'm very grateful for that, obviously. So, all right, we got 5,800 people in the chat. I was just checking where we're at. I'm really gonna massage this around. I really want that garlic to have even coverage on the chicken. Let's get this chicken towels out of here. And then I'm gonna put this guy back in his bowl so there's no chance of cross-contamination with other stuff in the fridge. Put him in the fridge. All right, right there. And let him go for, 30 minutes. Now let's get going on our vegetables. Let's start sauteing some stuff, yeah? So we're gonna head on over to camera 2. Sawyer, you ready for this? Here we go. Camera 2. I always say that like it's the first time we've done it. I'm sorry, I'm not doubting your ability. I just want to make a big deal out of it.
Oh no, long-time viewers will know I miss it sometimes.
Pardon me, sorry. Sorry if I just coughed in the mic. I'm sure that just peaked in all your headphones. A little bit of olive oil. Probably should have used vegetable oil. It's okay, we're just sauteing. It doesn't really matter. And where's my torch? Here it is. A lot of people have asked, why do I use a torch to light my stove? And that's because it is a restaurant stove. And it has a pilot light that is so powerful. On these restaurant stoves, the pilot light constantly runs. So you can just turn it on and it's just going. And it's so powerful that it just heats up the whole room. And it's nice in the winter, but not so much when it's starting to get nice out, like right now. I'm gonna grab my drink. And, I love this pan. I'm not sponsored by Tefal. I just want to, sing its praises. If you're a new chef, it's got this great. It's called the thermo spot indicator, I guess. And you can see there's some like circles and some T's on there, and those will disappear once the pan is properly preheated. So if you're learning how to cook and you don't really know, is my pan hot enough? Is it ready? If you're just doing simple things like sauteing like this, and you want to get oil to a good sauteing point, but you don't want it to smoke, that is going to be the temperature at which you want to add your vegetables. So I'm going to grab my onions here, and as soon as that guy turns solid red, guess what's going to happen with these onions? What do you think, audience? You choose. We'll do it like the Bandersnatch. Dump the onions. Don't dump the onions. If everybody selects don't dump the onions, I'm like, oh, okay, well, what do we do now? Anyway, those are going in. Enough small talk. Those are going in. This is also like the most powerful burner. If I bring my hand or my arms too close to it, it singes the hair off my arms. That's why all the great chefs. I just met Floyd Cardoz the other day. He was kind enough to have us over to his restaurant for a tasting, and he's going to be joining us on some future episodes of Basics with Babish, showing us how to make some Indian essentials. And he has no hair on his arms, and he showed us the what's that Indian clay pot oven? It's the it's the tandoor. He was showing his tandoor, and he was reaching inside it and grabbing bread and chicken and stuff, just reaching right in there. And I brought my hand near it, like this close to the opening, and I pulled away because like all the hair right here. In fact, you can still see it right like there. You can see where it's singed off like half the hair on my arm. Chefs are, they're otherworldly creatures. They're different from you and I. Real chefs, I mean. All right, so I just want to get these a little translucent. I just want to give them a little extra heat before we add the peppers, which I'm going to add now. I just wanted to give them like a minute. Because these guys are going to cook I really want to cook the onions down. I want to get like them almost, not caramelized, but just, I really want to cook them down. I don't want them to be too crunchy, but I do want some crunch in the peppers. There we go. For anybody curious how to learn how to do this, I know that this is like one of those things that when you're trying to learn how to cook, you really want to do. You're going to make a mess if you use food. The best thing to do is to use a stainless steel pan, not a non-stick pan, because you'll scratch it. But the way I learned was I took a stainless steel pan and I filled it with Ricolas, with cough drops. And I just used that over my bed. And you know, obviously Ricolas go everywhere. But you get a sense for the motion that you need to do. You bring everything sort of down to the edge of the pan and then push it up and pull it back like that. And as you guys will see on an episode of Being tomorrow, I messed that up pretty good in front of a group of students. I don't want to give away too much about what we're doing, what we did rather, on the upcoming episode of Being. For those of you who don't know, Being with Babish is my new show. It's a travel and vlog and food experiential kind of show, and every episode we try to meet up with a fan of the show and give them, you know, something that they need if they're in need of something, or if we can sort of, in a culinary sense, improve their life or their hobbies or whatever in some way, or just give them a cool experience. And we got to work with a teacher in Brooklyn and Brownsville who does a cooking class for his kids, for these middle schoolers. I won't say anything else that we do, but it's a nice heartwarming episode. One Rashid DeRosso, my former roommate, who a lot of you know and love, makes an appearance. So keep an eye out for him. We give him quite a surprise. Oh, also, I'm going to, I should have done this up front, sorry, but I'm going to salt these just a little bit initially, not to fully season them, but to help coax some of the moisture out of them. This also, like, it's going to work less so in this context. It'll still help, but really where that's going to come in handy is with mushrooms. Mushrooms have, oh, my dishwasher's open, how embarrassing. Mushrooms have so much liquid in them that you need to get rid of before you can, if you're baking them into something, like if you put mushrooms in a quiche, you can't just put raw mushrooms in there because you'll ruin your quiche. You gotta get this liquid out, and if you add salt, just a little bit, again, you're not trying to season them, you're just trying to help draw out the moisture. It just helps them cook down quicker, and that way you don't end up overcooking your mushrooms. Something smells burny. It's something like, huh. All right, these are looking almost done, and last up, I really just want to heat the corn through. I'd love to get some color on this stuff, actually. Actually, you know, I'm going to do the corn separately because I want to add the peppers and onions to all the quesadillas, including the chicken one, and I don't want there to be corn in that one. So, don't ask me why. Me and corn, we're not on speaking terms right now. All right, so that's looking nice. You know, the onions are nice and soft. You can see that they're not the same stark white that they used to be. Everybody's losing color a little bit. Everybody's melding their colors together. So that's right where we want it to be. We don't want to lose too much color. We don't want to lose too much texture. We just want to cook these down a little bit so you're not biting into a friggin' salad when you're eating your quesadilla. I know I'm gonna spill this everywhere. I'm gonna do this over at the countertop. Sorry to make you switch cameras, Jake, but I just don't want to spill it all over my cooktop. I know I'm gonna spill it. See? What did I say? What did I say? There we go. I'll spill a couple. It's not so bad. But I don't want to dig those out of my stove. I know the burner's still running. I know people are probably freaking out right now that the burner's still going, but don't worry. I'm about to go right back over to it, and I just want to sear this corn a little bit. I do want to get some color on the corn, almost like it's, you know, sort of grilled like elotes or street corn. Like you really want to char that stuff, and you know, obviously this is the poor substitute. I'm also going to go to vegetable oil because we want more neutral cooking oils with this outfit. It sounds like you're about to say something, Jake. Do we have stuff, or was I just mishearing?
Yeah, you want to do a couple questions?
Yeah, let's do some questions. This is an easy part here. I'm just trying to get this really hot so we can really get some color on the corn. Anyway, go ahead.
Okay, first, Jacob Finkelstein. Andrew, were you driving in New Jersey yesterday? All caps.
No, I wasn't. Was I? No.
No. There was a conversation. It wasn't him.
Yesterday.
I was with him. Yeah, it wasn't him.
Sorry,
Here's one. Cool Hand 1983 said, future Babish episodes need more sizzle sound, something comforting about hearing food cooked as much as seeing it. And I totally agree. We've talked about it before. It's a great recommendation.
He's right, and we actually recorded scratch sound. We did that on purpose for this most recent round of basics. I don't know why we didn't use it. I'm gonna have to talk with the boys in Nashville who helped me out with editing that show, because it is a multi-camera show. It's a bit more complicated, and it just saves me a lot of time to bring some sound back. Because yeah, isn't that lovely? I'm gonna stand over this so I can ASMR it for you guys. There we go. It's very hot on my face, very, very hot. This is how Mrs. Doubtfire caught on fire, so I need to be like careful. Ooh. Okay. I really just want to get a little color on these guys, so I'm gonna leave them untouched for like almost an uncomfortable amount of time, to the point where I'm sitting here like, I want to flip them, but it's just gonna put a nice little char on them, and that's really what we're after. Oh, here's my drink. Can I get you boys anything to drink in there?
Yeah, sure. I'll take a drink. Vinny, you want anything?
I got some bourbon here, and I've got some nice beers. You know, we're eating Mexican tonight. It's probably the better way to go.
Yeah, I'll come get them.
Okay. Come say hi to the people. Ah, see, I flipped it. That was dumb. I'm trying to get the color on there. It's almost there, too. I can see the little flecks of brown and stuff, so don't move it. Don't touch it. Don't move it. Don't touch it. And then after that, we can make our first quesadilla, because we got all the pieces. Everything's a place for everything, and everything in its place. Mise en place, if you will. So I'm resisting every urge. Which camera are you on right now? It's probably this one. Come on and say hi if you like.
Nice.
And yeah, the beer's all right over there. Yeah. Is this hot enough? I really want to get some color on this. Ooh, that guy just popped out. You guys see that? That corn just popped out. Okay, give it a little flipsy-do. Ah, jeez. Okay, there's still not much color in here, but it's smelling good. It's smelling like corn. That's a good sign, right? So I'll take that off in a minute. It's pretty hard to over saute corn. Definitely can, to the point where it gets like crispy. Don't want that. Or chewy. No good. But I think we're we got plenty of time before that happens. I got a perfectly good prep bowl over here that I'm going to reuse for the corn. You know, reduce, reuse, recycle. Think globally, act local. Think locally, act globally. Right? That's the. Hell yeah, guys! Remember that. All right, that's good enough for me. I'm gonna kill the heat over here. I'm gonna head back over to camera 1, and I'm going to try not to spill any corn, embarrass myself. But I know I can feel the inevitable, and I'm not a control freak, you know. I think I'm probably going to do the quesadillas in a cast iron pan today. It just feels better. It honestly works just as well. You know, cast iron's way cooler, and it's better for other applications like searing steaks. But in this case, honestly, it's gonna be very good no matter what kind of pan you use. But I do recommend either cast iron or a nonstick pan. I would not recommend a stainless pan because you actually the tortillas would probably stick. So hang on, I'm just gonna throw this in the sink. It's hot, so it's gonna. Yeah. I mean, should I just rinse this out? No. No, come on, don't be lazy. Got a whole internet audience watching you, thousands. All right, so I'm gonna grab this old fella. I'm gonna grab this old cast iron pan that I retired because it's got a couple little scratches in it. But for, yeah, no, let's not do that. That guy should really go in the trash. You don't want to use scratched up cast iron, or non-stick. You don't want to do that. Where's my big cast iron pan? There it is. Sorry, there's a lot of stuff in this kitchen, folks. You understand. Oh, there we go. Okay, so cast iron. Let's give it a little wipe out because I was using it to store my bread in because that looks cool, right? Let's really make sure we get everything out of there. And then, you know, I like to use a lot of oil when I'm frying quesadillas. Let's head back over to camera 1 real quick because we gotta stuff them first. So I'm gonna grab my tortillas, the big ones, if you will. Oh, here they are. They're right over here where I already am. So obviously this is going to be better if you use badass tortillas, like, locally made or whatever, but we're going to be frying these. If you were making a burrito, I'd be bummed out if you made it on this, because these are pretty flaccid and flavorless, and I'd far prefer you use something cooler. But then again, I also understand not everybody can get that. You're not always near places. Not everybody's in the Southwest or in near Tortilleria Dos Hermanos in Brooklyn, where the tortilla factory. So I understand not everybody can get that, but especially with quesadillas, because we're essentially lightly deep frying these. I put a lot of oil in the pan, not too much, as I learned the other day, but enough to lightly coat the bottom of the pan, and that really, that really gives you this like incredibly burnished, crunchy exterior that is just lovely, and I want that for you guys. Okay, that's what I want for you, and that's what we're gonna accomplish together. So I'm spreading cheese in a half moon formation, half moon rising, whatever the modern astrological signs are. When I used to be on Tinder, that's what I saw everywhere. It was like, I'm a Leo rising, and I sound like Andy Rooney right now. I sound like an old man complaining about astrological signs. Why don't we just leave it, Cancer and Virgo, huh? What happened to good old fashioned? Sorry. Sorry, I'm coming apart here. I'm not coming apart, but I'm losing my mind. Oh, here's the peppers. Okay. So I got my peppers and onions, and I got my corn. I'm just going to dole a little bit of those out each. The corn is really what's going to make this I'm putting the peppers and onions on everything, but the corn's what's going to really make this a vegetarian quesadilla. It's going to, give it a little bit of variety, flavor. So just spreading these out a little bit, make sure that there's good even distribution, because remember, we're cutting this into 3 pieces, so we want every bite to have a little bit of each. And I like stuffing my quesadillas pretty good, but not crazy. I'm going to just focus on here. Yeah, that's better. And there we go. And what you can also do is you can sprinkle this with like taco seasoning mix. But instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to essentially make my own taco mix. I'm going to sprinkle it on there, kind of like how I made Cajun seasoning. Whoa, that would be probably pretty good. Emerald's essence on these? No, let's not go crazy. What I will do is hit them with, let's get corn going on the other guy here. Don't want him to feel left out. Any big super chats that I'm missing? Any pressing questions? I just don't want to anybody to be left out here. I'm very sorry that I don't see everything, guys. I'm very sorry.
Sean, the Sopranos fan, gave another $20. So appreciated. Crazy, dude.
Thank you. Yeah.
And he asked what channels you subscribe to. We talked about Townsend's and Steve MRE already. Doug DeMuro, got a bunch.
Yes, Doug. Yeah, Doug DeMuro's a favorite around this household. Who else do I subscribe to, dude? You can see over there. Let's see.
Ants Canada.
Ants Canada, of course. Thank you for reminding me of Ants Canada. Sawyer brought my attention to Ants Canada last week. And let me just say that I am enthralled, even though I fucking hate bugs. I do. I don't like spiders. Not all bugs, but really don't like spiders. I don't mind ants at all, but I have a real problem with spiders, and that guy loves spiders. So it's a challenge for me to watch. Also, just so you guys are savvy to what I'm doing, I like to really press these down and make sure that they're well adhered. These are very tumbly fillings, as I said in the video. This stuff wants to just tumble out, and we don't want that. So I'm just trying to make sure that everybody's well adhered and everybody's kind of pressed into like a cheese patty, kind of the way I did the grilled cheese. Some of the grilled cheeses, when I was making a mix, I pressed it into a patty and then put it on the bread, and that way it just all sort of stuck together. I'm gonna head on over to the stovetop here, where I'm going to thinly coat the bottom of my cast iron pan with vegetable oil. this is going to be just enough once it swirls around a little bit. It's going to be just enough to just have a nice light layer on the bottom of my pan, and that's going to effectively like almost deep fry our quesadillas. The other thing you really want with this process, I'll get back to YouTube channels in a second. The other thing you really want with this process is a big, strong spatula, because these guys are big and you have to, flip them, and you don't want a wimpy spatula for that, especially because it gets hot over here, it gets crowded in there. But other YouTube channels like Chef John, obviously love Chef John. You Suck at Cooking is a dear friend. We did a crossover episode of collab a while ago. Wow, two Octobers ago. Good Lord, we gotta talk again. I still have never met him, nor have I seen his face. Like, that guy is so secretive. I don't even know if his manager has met him or has seen his face. He's a mystery. All right, we want to get this hot, but we don't want to get it smoking hot. And I'm just gonna roll the oil around a little bit, just to make sure it's evenly coating the bottom. Last thing we want is,
We're getting a influx of chicken comments. I just want to reassert that this is the vegetarian and the chicken comes next. Is that correct?
Yes. We're doing chicken quesadillas after this, guys. This is the vegetarian quesadilla. Do not worry your pretty little heads about it. We will get there. I don't think we're quite there yet, are we? Yeah, the oil's just starting to shimmer. I don't want it to smoke, obviously. I'm just going to see what happens here. Yeah. It's sizzling barely, but that was definitely a little too early, so I'm going to give that... Oh, it's going. But, you want to cook these not too quickly. I mean, you want the cheese to really melt. It's kind of like grilled cheese. Grilled cheese should be made pretty slowly, like lovingly, because you want all the cheese to melt. You don't want toppings falling out. So, okay, I got a nice sizzle here. I'm gonna get in close so you guys can hear it. Yeah, that's a good sizzle. So I'm also going to lower the heat a little bit, because again, I do want to cook these relatively slowly. Not too slowly where they're sucking up a bunch of oil, but slow enough that the cheese can melt and the exterior can get brown, because I read this article about how there's this grilled cheese restaurant that uses clarified butter and it allows them to fry a grilled cheese at a very high temperature. I'm like, why would you want to do that? Like, the cheese isn't going to melt. It takes time for cheese to melt. I'm not criticizing, I'm just curious why anybody would want to do that. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to rotate these. I'm going to whoop. The fact that they're sliding around like that means that the pan is good and hot. Turn this down a little bit. I burnt my quesadillas when I was teaching these kids. I really don't want to do it here, so I'll be very embarrassed. Yeah, they don't even have any color yet, so that's perfect actually. I really want to cook them slow. I'm going to turn the flame up a little bit. And the reason I'm rotating them is because, cast iron, obviously it disperses heat very evenly, but no pan is going to do it perfectly evenly. And I want super even color on these quesadillas. I want them to be matching, So if we turn them every 30 seconds or so, it's not like it's taking any extra effort. It's kind of fun, actually. I feel like a quesadilla. That's actually kind of funny. Yeah, there we go. Okay, yeah, we're starting to get a little color there. But again, we're taking our sweet, sweet time, because I'm not in a rush for quesadillas. I'm in a rush for, I'm willing to wait for good quesadillas, There's a big difference, okay? I'm gonna clean off this workspace over here a little bit, just so we can bring the quesadillas back here and slice them up without it being too gross, even though I'll probably dump toppings everywhere by accident. I got this stuff for guacamole, guys. I'm so sad, but oh God. The tinsel was moving behind me. It scared me. Here we go. Here, I'll talk more about that in a minute. But basically, Whole Foods delivered to me. I didn't have time to actually physically go grocery shopping today, so I did delivery, which is what I do when we're under a little bit of time crunch, which we are, because Being with Babish comes out tomorrow. And it's been a pretty complex episode, and there's a lot of pieces that need to be perfectly put in place. So we're treating that with a lot of love and tender care. I'm gonna grab a plate because it just makes flipping these easier. Like this is kind of a rookie move. Like, you know, if you know what you're doing, you're not gonna do this generally. How are we doing here? Oh yeah, it's looking good. All right, so I'm gonna take this off and then simply, you know, you can see that it's fried up nicely because it's rigid. Oh God, okay. You know what? It's a rookie move. I'm just gonna flip these. Whoop. Don't need this stupid plate. I was gonna suggest that you know, if you're a little scared of flipping these, because I know it's a little scary. Oh, you don't want to do that. Don't want to do that. It's a little scary because you're worried you're gonna spill toppings. I guarantee it's what I'm gonna do right now. Hang on, I'm just gonna turn this. Grab my Binging with Babish oven gloves, which should be hitting the market sometime soon, next few months, and flipsy-do. There we go. They're oily for sure. They're not like swimming in oil. They just have enough oil where they've lightly deep fried, and boy, they're pretty looking. Yeah, the cheese is getting all melty. Problem is that there's a lip on these tortillas that is acting up and not letting it totally be flush with the bottom of the cooking surface. I'm gonna turn that down a little bit. The cheese is nice and melted. When I press it, I can see it coming out a little bit. Yeah. The other problem is that this is aged cheddar, which is, you know, as I explained, if you saw the grilled cheese episode. Yeah. Oh, that's good. Nice color. If you saw the grilled cheese episode, you will notice that I said, you know, aged cheeses exude a lot of oil. They separate because of the crystallization. And I'm just saying that like I know what I'm talking about. I really don't. But if you say anything with authority, people believe you. But no, that is true. It's because of the crystallization that occurs when you age cheeses. Apparently, once you heat it, that causes the fats to separate and you end up with oily cheese. And that's what we're having here a little bit. This cheese is definitely separating, but it's still gonna be really good. I'm not complaining. They're definitely done by now, so I'm gonna head on over to camera one. And yoink this out of here. And yoink this out of here. We got one that's a little bit thicker than the other. This smells hot. Did I burn that? Make sure my stove's off. Nope, we're good. In fact, if anything, it's nicer on this side. Look at that. Whoop. Oh, okay. We're not gonna play with fate like that. Okay. We're not gonna tempt fate. I'm just gonna put these together so I can slice them up. I'd like to use a pizza slicer. It's a little bit more dignified, but I only have that stupid Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle slicer, so we'll just slice them up normal. Whoop. Oh yeah. And then if you want to get a cheese stretch when you're it's hot. When you're pulling these up, just put them back together. That's the same thing I do for grilled cheese. Put them back together and press on the edges between the cuts. And that's going to let the cheese sort of flow back out. If you really want a cheese stretch, you cut it before you fry it, but that takes some balls, man. Oh yeah, but that's looking great. Okay. And I do want a cheese stretch, so I hope we get one. You know? We need something for the thumbnail, you know what I mean? Just gonna press those guys back together. That's the secret. You just press it a little bit. Wait for this to be cool enough for me to pick up, and then it'll, not only will I dig in, but hopefully we'll have a really cool cheese stretch. Let's give it a shot. Let's go for it. Oh yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Hell yeah, dude. Okay. Ah. Oh yeah. Oh my God. I love quesadillas, but like when you get this really great crust on the outside. Obviously it's a mess, but come on, it's the idea. Hang on. How do you guys like my chewing sounds? This is awesome. I mean, you know, the exterior is like so crisp, and it's a little oily because we essentially deep fried it a little bit. But it, you know, it's like halfway between like a tortilla chip and a tortilla. It's the perfect vessel for all this melted cheese. I'm getting a little bit of that corn in there. If you want to have some fun, and we'll, no, never mind. I was going to say we'll do this in the next one, but we have this marinated chicken. But if you want to have some fun, sprinkle this with some taco seasoning. Sprinkle the cheese with some taco seasoning before you fry it up. Ow. Oh, pop. All right. I'm not going to deprive my boys anymore. Come on in, fellas, if you want some Dilla. A lot of chewing noises here, sorry. Rack them up.
Thank you.
Yeah, let's see if we can get a nice pull on this. Yeah! With our powers combined.
Hell yeah.
There you go, boys. And
Thanks,
there's more coming. Enjoy. Eat them in good health. Do you guys want sour cream? Yeah. We got to do sour cream and we got to do salsa. And guys, I'm so sorry I didn't make my own salsa. So I know that's a real faux pas. But okay, here's some sour cream, and here's some. It's not jarred, but I didn't make it. I apologize. Yep. No, I'm gonna catch some flack for this. I know, but I didn't have the patience to make salsa today. I apologize. Here you go. Here's some salsa.
Thank you.
And here, I'll put this in a bowl. Yeah, you can't have this without salsa and sour cream. I wish I could give you guacamole as well, but the folks at Whole Foods done goofed. Oh, here I was just gonna put it in the bowl. There we go. Sorry, you have to watch service, folks, but this is life in the restaurant biz. Speaking of which, I'm very excited to show you guys what we have going with Alvin Kylon. It's going to be a lot of fun. I think you guys are going to get a real kick out of it. Enjoy, gentlemen. Vinny, Sawyer. All right. Yeah, fake salsa, I know. I said that. All right. Okay, let's clean up a little bit. By clean up, I mean just wipe these things away. That's really all we're doing. And I think, I'd love to let that chicken marinate a little longer. If there are questions I can take to give it a little bit more, buy it a little bit more time, I'll do that. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, I could ask you a couple more questions.
Go for it.
All right. Well, Max was asking why you cook your rice that way. I think he's referring to putting it in the oven. It's a good
When
trick.
I bake
so
the
I figured
rice?
I'd ask. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, baking rice, it started with an Alton Brown technique. He recommended cooking rice in the oven because cooking rice on a stove, brown rice on a stovetop is perilous, and you can often end up with, some really mushy kind of porridge almost, not nice, fluffy, individual grains of brown rice. And by baking it, you are effectively steaming it, sort of. Not really, but sort of. You're cooking it more gently and letting it just sort of soak up water instead of constantly stirring it, keeping it from scraping or keeping it from sticking on the bottom of the pan. Obviously, doing it on the stovetop can be done correctly. It is way more foolproof to do it in the oven. If you bring the amount of water to a boil that it specifies in the directions, and then add the rice, and then cover it, and then bake it for like 5 minutes longer than they would say to boil it on the package, it comes out perfect every time. It's not a traditional way of doing things. It's not like a cool way of doing things. It's an easy, foolproof, convenient way of doing things. And for that reason, I absolutely love it. Nathan's going to be here soon, right? I just want to make sure he has a hot, fresh quesadilla. All right, so that's one question. I see that we got some. Sorry.
One question I saw a couple times is, do you know any Persian recipes?
I don't know any Persian recipes. I've definitely had Persian, There's a lot of great spots here in the city. What's the name of that place that I went to once? I can't remember. But there's a lot of great spots here in the city, and but I personally do not know any Persian recipes. I also see Sean Carey said, "Do you order fish on Mondays?" And he gave a $20 super chat. Thank you very much, Sean. And do I eat fish on Mondays? I've heard that both that is true and that's a myth. That fish is fresher, the least fresh on Mondays. And I've also heard that it's Tuesdays. I can't remember which one Bourdain said, because it all started with him in Kitchen Confidential. But also that book was written like 15 years ago or something like that. I don't know the exact year that it was written. I'm sorry if I'm wrong. But I thought it was written in the early 2000s at the latest. And so like 15-ish to whatever, how many years old. And I'm sure that in that time, shipping and refrigeration practices have improved. And so I have heard like that's an old wives' tale, and I have heard that is biblical, and you need to follow that if you value your life. So no, I don't order fish. I don't order sushi on Mondays. If that's the phenomenon that you're referring to, I apologize if it's not. I just saw a $50 super chat come in from Taylor Riff. Thank you so much. That's extremely generous. Thank you. Out of all the episodes you've done, which one is your favorite? Also, I can't wait to try some of the recipes and techniques I've learned while watching. Out of all the recipes I've done, which one my favorite? It's going to sound like a cop-out answer, but there's a reason. Oh, wrong arm. I forgot which arm it's on, but there's a reason I got this tattoo. Like this was an important episode. Like it was a turning point for me in making the show. It symbolizes a lot of things for me, just like just following my instincts, and it also recognizes how many people have tagged me on Instagram. Not so much anymore, but like past 2 years, so many people, thousands, have tagged me on Instagram saying like, I made pasta allo olio, it's delicious, and it's my first time cooking. And it was so beautiful to hear how many people gave this a shot because they saw how easy it was and how great it was despite its simplicity. So I know it sounds like a cop-out, but this is really one of my favorite dishes. And I mean, come on, Jon Favreau gave me the carving fork from the movie, like, which I can show you guys. I know I've done it in past live streams, but here it is. This is the one from Chef. Have you seen Chef? It's the one that he plates up the pasta allo olio with for Scarlett Johansson. Mr. Happy Hogan. Yeah, so that's my favorite episode, favorite dish that I've done so far, and I'm seeing a $10 super chat from Nathaniel Fry. Hey Andrew, just another 10 from me. Thanks, dude. I'm sorry if I missed the first one. Your name isn't ringing any bells. But thank you for the first 10. Thank you for the second 10. Got to get tags for my car tomorrow, so I can't donate too much. However, just wanted to know what's the best thing you've ever eaten. Jeez. Well, first off, thank you very much for a very generous super chat, especially if you're getting tags in your car. I really appreciate your generosity. Favorite food I've ever eaten is so hard. It's like, what's your favorite song ever? There's no easy answer to that. Jeez. Let me get back to that. Because I honestly don't know. Thank you very much for the super chat, man. I'm sorry I did not have a satisfying answer off the top of my head. Sean Carey, I remember your name, I think. I don't know. But he gave $20. Thank you very much, Sean. Which celebrities do you follow on Instagram? I follow a bunch. I follow The Rock. I don't know why, but he's on there. I do follow him. I follow Alton Brown. Get down here. That's better. I follow Alton Brown. I follow who else on Instagram? I follow Maisie Williams. That's how we connected initially. She DM'd me and said, like, "Are you cooking? I'm in town for Fashion Week. You mind if I swing by and eat whatever you're making?" And I was like, "I guess I'm making direwolf bread." I just very quickly researched a recipe. I had like 4 hours. I probably follow a lot more celebrities on Twitter than I do on Instagram. I don't know why. It's odd. I don't know. I guess I like hearing their thoughts more than I like seeing their lives. I don't know. I have nothing against it. It's just like it's just my weird preference. $10 from Paul Arbogast. if you had to pick just one cheese, just one cheese. Well, the unfortunate reality is that it would have to be a melter. Like, I can't imagine picking, some 4-year-old aged Gouda or cheddar or something, something really aged, and then never being able to have a grilled cheese that isn't swimming in its own soup of oil. I can't imagine that. So I would need to go with a melter. And one of my favorite melters is Monterey Jack. It's honestly what I wish I was putting in these right now, because it's super melty, and it's got more flavor it's got like as much flavor as a very mild cheddar, almost. It's like a very flavorful mozzarella, almost. I love it. I don't care if that's trashy. Whatever. I love Monterey Jack, and if I had to choose one cheese, I know that's not a classy answer, but I would need something that could melt. I suppose I could make the melty things that I made for grilled cheese recently, but I don't want to have to do that every time. And I like the diversity of cheese. If I picked my favorite, which is Midnight Moon by Cypress something. It's an aged goat Gouda, and it's unbelievable. I love it so much. It's slightly crystalline, and it's very funky, but it's very palatable, and beginners can get into it, and cheese lovers still enjoy it. Love Midnight Moon. But I wouldn't, if I could only choose one cheese, I wouldn't choose that. I don't want to eat that for the rest of my life. Usually when I think cheese, I think something melty and pull aparty and all that stuff. Oh man, we got a whole bunch of them coming in here. Have you ever thought about doing a brisket episode on Basics? Would love to see you do more barbecue stuff. Expect a barbecue episode on Basics soon. I won't say what, but it's pig rather than cow. But keep an eye out, because it's coming. Let's see, Paradox Omega gave $10 and said, hey, I've been watching since day one. Just curious on your favorite Thai food. My favorite Thai food, I love, it's actually not like an entree. And I'm sorry if these are very Americanized Thai foods, but I love, I can't remember the name, the Thai word for it, but it's the papaya salad, the spicy green papaya salad. It's like, sometimes it's intolerably spicy, and I love it. And then my other favorite thing, my favorite way I've ever finished a meal, I love having coffee after a meal, but the best thing I've ever had at the end of a meal, and we actually had it in LA when we ordered Thai, fellas, at our Airbnb, was that mango sticky rice, like dipped in this, wasn't milk, but it had like the texture or the consistency of milk, but it was sweet. So I assume it was maybe, I don't know, it might have been coconut milk or something like that. And it was, it was almost like mango sushi almost, but it was on sweet sticky rice. And then you dip it in the coconut milk. And it was so good. So, but again, that speaks to my ignorance of genuine Thai. I've definitely had, some pretty authentic Thai as best we can do here in New York City, which is pretty good. But I'm dying to go to Thailand so I can have the real thing, so I can really see what the cuisine is like, because it's so wide and so varied, and there's so much going on. And I want to see, the hawkers, and I want to do all this. It's not really street foods anymore, because if I remember correctly, in Bangkok they've localized them in an indoor shopping mall. Is that Bangkok, or is that? I can't remember. I think that's Bangkok. But anyway, I'm speaking out of complete ignorance here. I don't know these things. But no, I would love to try more genuine Thai food. Fort Nixon gave $10 and said, since you're doing this show, 2 questions. What would be considered your guilty pleasure food? And have you ever thought about doing a binging episode on recreating frozen/TV dinners? Love your stuff. Thank you, Fort Nixon. Thank you for the super chat. What would be considered your guilty pleasure food? Oh dear, a lot of things. This is a guilty pleasure food. Like it's not like trashy or crappy food. It's just not very good for you. It's like a semi deep fried cheese-filled tortilla. But guilty pleasure foods, I allow myself to have one Big Mac every year. That's a big one. Probably Taco Bell. I love Taco Bell, and I love their double-decker tacos. I love the Crunchwrap Supreme, all the cliche answers. And I allow myself to have that stuff like once a year. This might be my last meal, so to speak, before a major diet. I'm thinking about potentially doing a 30-day intensive, like no sugar, no alcohol, exercise 6 days a week, 2 times a day, like insane training program, just to see what I can do in 30 days, like what's possible to do in 30 days. So I don't know if that's something you guys would want to see. I'd be very curious to see what would happen. But I'm thinking about doing it, and it would start tomorrow, effectively, or Saturday rather. So this might be one of my last real bad meals for a month. But we'll see. We'll see. Not entirely sure. We have $5 from Evan Urbani. Do you have someone to help roll your sleeves, or is that all you? Because they are always so clean. Thank you so much. You want to know my secret? And I've told it in past live streams, but I've never written it down for anybody. I roll the shirt. I roll up the sleeves before I put the shirt on. See, so that way you get really. Here we go. That way you get really clean lines. You know, there's a little bit of pinching. You're always going to get a little bit of pinching. But hang the shirt up and then, you know, roll it up and then put the shirt on. And that's how you're going to get the nicest, cleanest lines. I wish I had somebody to help me roll my shirt up. I got $20 from Justin Hauska. This is my first time donating, but I do want to say thank you for your amazing video. It's the best part of my day. Keep up the good work, and you should visit Michigan someday. I would love to visit Michigan. I don't know where you're at in there, if you're in Detroit or where else you might be, but I would love to visit one day. I hope, you know, with the new show, with Being with Babish, we really want to get out and go to new places that we might not otherwise have gone to, and you know, Michigan would be well up there. So thank you very much for the very generous super chat, especially for a first time super chat. I really appreciate it. And yeah, no, I hope we see you in Michigan one day. Let's see. Cade Tucker gave $10. Nothing better than unwinding with a drink in your stream. Thank you. Been in networking at uni, but you've inspired me to go chase my dreams of culinary school and cooking. Thank you for being so inspiring. That's very, very sweet of you to say. Best of luck to you. That's a really tough industry, but it can be so rewarding if it's the right thing for you. So absolute best of luck to you, and thank you so much for the kind words, and thank you for tuning in. And yeah, just good luck, and congratulations on chasing something that you love. We have 10 Canadian dollars. That's interesting. Let's see. Giancarlo Silvestri gave 10 Canadian dollars and said, you are very too good and what you do. I think there's some mobile stuff going on there, but you're very good at what you do. Thank you very much. I appreciate that, especially because I don't have any training. I'm not going to culinary. I didn't go to culinary school like our friend that I just mentioned is going to. Yeah. No. Where'd you go? Cade Tucker. I haven't gone to culinary school, and I appreciate that because I don't really know what I'm doing. And I'm just like you guys. I'm figuring it out. I've just been trying to figure it out for like 15 years now, and I'm just starting to get to a point where I'm like, okay, I can make some food that's palatable. And I really appreciate your guys' support, and keep cooking, because YouTube is such a great place to learn, and I'm really happy to be part of the many voices, the chorus of people that are teaching you guys. So thank you guys so much for coming out and hanging out. I'm not done here. I'm going to start making the chicken, because I think we've probably killed enough time. We're good. It's ready to go. All right. So I'm officially old just then. I just made a noise getting up. I'm now old. That just happened. All right. Let me grab the chicken out the fridge. Oh, there goes my mustard. Oh no, it's my mayo too. Not the mayo. All right. Ideally, I should have flipped this about halfway through just to make sure that, we're getting even dispersal of the marinade, but it's fine. We're just doing this for demonstration purposes today. I am going to cook this in a nonstick skillet just because it's just going to be a little easier. And also, I don't want to get stuff stuck all over my cast iron, so I can't do the next quesadilla in there. I don't want to have to wash it out, so we're just going to do it in here. And same deal as the vegetables. I'm going to hit it with vegetable oil this time, because that olive oil really gunked up the works. But I have a fair amount of olive oil in there, and I want to get this pretty hot, because normally I would butterfly the breasts and make them super thin and pound them out. But you know, these are pretty thin. I'm just gonna try to cook them as they are, and they should cook pretty quickly. But the idea here is that we want to cook the chicken quickly so it doesn't dry out. Because if you're cooking bare chicken breasts, no skin to protect the meat, you are going to have dry, stringy chicken on the exterior of the breasts. But if we get the interior as juicy as possible and then cut the chicken into small pieces across the grain, we're not going to have as much problems with stringiness or dryness. So give it a shot. I'm going to throw a glove on just so I don't have to wash my hands after, because I don't want to do a whole bunch of sink noises while you guys are waiting for me to get back in front of the camera. It's not the most entertaining thing in the world, I'd imagine. We're retaining viewers pretty well right now, if I am not mistaken. What are we looking at here? We got 5.8 last I checked. Oh, that's the video. That's not the live stream. Okay, we're down to 4,600, but still, thank you guys so much for hanging out. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you're trying this yourselves, or if you're not, that you're joining me with a drink, or if that's not your bag, you know, I just hope you're having a good night. And thank you for spending it with me and my boys. We love you guys, and we love each other, and it's all love, okay? So, getting the chicken out of here, I'm trying to shake off too much, you know, I don't want tons of marinade on there, but it is oil and lime juice, so it's not the end of the world. But I also don't want any of the garlic cloves on there. There we go. Yeah, I want those garlic cloves. Ooh, got a little fire. A little fire, yeah. Nice. So, those garlic cloves are going to burn if I just put them directly in there. So, making sure there's no garlic cloves. Down they go. I don't want them crowded. Try to get them away from each other so they don't steam. There we go. Ooh, a little bit of flames, huh? Yeah, all right. That's fun. Let's do that again. Whee! That's what really makes your kitchen smell like a restaurant when you do that, because that's what you're really smelling in a restaurant kitchen, is you're smelling aerosolized burnt oil, because they'll do that over. One of the keys to great food in restaurants, why restaurant food is so good, is because they have such incredibly high heat to play with. Where's my? Here we go. They have such incredibly high heat to play with, and that's one of the reasons their food is so darn good. It's that and a lot of butter, really. Yeah, we're just trying to get a good char. See that? We've got a little start of a char there. I want that all over. So we're gonna turn this a little bit. We turn these guys a little bit, get them exposed to different parts of the flame. And yeah, so they're constantly just burning like so much, you know, really powerful burners like this one. And then, you know, it's inevitable when you go like this, the aerosolized oil is going to catch on fire. And that smell, I've worked in a few restaurants in my life, and that smell is so singularly restaurant. It's so singularly restaurant kitchen. And I kind of miss it sometimes, but that life is honestly way too intense for me. You know, restaurant kitchens are such high pressure places, and if you can handle it, more power to you. Because I don't know how you do it, honestly. All right, I'm turning up the flame a little bit just because I want to get a char in there. And then once I flip it, I'm going to turn it down, because these are thicker than, you know, breasts if I had butterflied them. I don't know what kind of breast these are, but it almost looks like they were butterflied. They're very strangely shaped, and they have like a strip of fat down them that I can't quite identify. Anybody know what's going on with these? They're from Whole Foods. They're not going to kill me, I don't think. Let's take a look at what's going on here. All right, see, we're starting to get some color. Oh, I forgot something important in the marinade. You want to add like a tablespoon of sugar. I did that in the episode, and I forgot to do it here. You want to add like a tablespoon of sugar, because that encourages that browning, that crust to form more quickly. It caramelizes more quickly. Who's calling me at all times right now? Yeah? I don't need this right now. See what I'm doing? It caramelizes the exterior more quickly, and you get this nice browning, nice Maillard a little faster. I sure do love flames. Woo! All right, sorry. That's not safe. It's not safe, but it's also not safe. All right, so now I'm flipping these. I have a great crust on the outside. Look at that nice char. That's beautiful. A lot of flavor going on there. And now I'm going to turn it down a little bit, because I do want to cook these the rest of the way through. I might flip them once more, but ideally I want to Oh, I see some raw chicken right there. You know what I think we might do actually? Cover them. I don't really want to, because then we're going to lose the crust, like it's going to soften because of the steam. But I really don't want to overcook these. But I do see raw chicken through this little flap right here. If I show it to you. See, there's still some raw chicken right there. And it's on this side, which means, it's not getting exposed to the heat properly. These are, they're too thick to be being sauteed right now. I do not recommend what I'm doing right now. That happens a lot on the live streams because we get there's a little bit of pressure from, doing things live, and I tend to overlook things. I overlook the sugar in the marinade, it happens, it's fine. But, learn from my mistakes. Do as I say, not as I do. And definitely try to, what would have been so much easier that I could have done is I could have pounded these out. Wouldn't have even had to butterfly them. If I just used my meat mallet and put them in a Ziploc bag, you can pound them out if they're relatively thin like this. You just get them to a nice, uniform shape, because these have a real thin spot in the center. They almost have a hinge there. See that? Real thin spot in the center, and this is going to be overcooked by the time this part's cooked. So it's a real dangerous game we play. I'm flipping these because I cannot identify for the life of me what part of the chicken this is from. Are these from like baby chickens and these are two breasts connected together? They're so small. What is it? Are these Cornish game hens or something? What's going on? All right, well, I'm gonna get my temp probe too, because I don't want to, have to trust that these are done properly. I want them to be done properly. I don't want anybody getting sick, obviously. Oh, here's my temp probe. Here we go. Let's see where we're at, just out of curiosity. I'm betting 110. What do you guys think? What do we got? What does that say? Oh! Oh my God! Oh my God! Come on. That was 110. Come on. It was like I saw it hit 112. I definitely moved it around a little bit, but like that was around 110. That's pretty good. Practice makes perfect, I guess. Not that I'm perfect. Lots of stuff left to learn here. But Alvin's going to teach me in a few weeks. Only on Being with Babish and the Burger Show. So, Jake, what? Just because I can't see the comments from over here, what am I missing out on? Anything?
Let's see here. We've been working on getting rid of some spammers. I don't know what
Very
makes
nice,
them do
thank
what
you.
they do.
Wait, what's that?
Oh, just we've been working on getting rid of people who just spam the same letter over and over again in the chat.
Oh, well, yeah. You could turn on slow mode, but everybody hates that.
Yeah. We try to avoid that.
I don't know who came up with the rule that you can only flip meat once. It's kind of nonsense. I mean, obviously you want to disturb it as little as possible, because every time I pick it up, I'm squeezing moisture out of it. But like, flip your burgers as many times as you want. Get them cooked evenly. Like, I've had burgers that are like, like medium well on one side and medium rare on the other. Like, there's a gradient towards one side. And it's because somebody was like, I can't flip it. It's against the law. But get your food cooked properly. Get a little flames going here. Come on, little flames. Give me a little fire. Most of the oil's kind of burnt up by now, so it's not going to play nice. Where are we at now? We're at 122, 123. We obviously this is freshly bought chicken. I think it's Pat LaFrida. What's this from? Yeah, this is Pat LaFrida chicken. So it's high quality chicken. It's from Whole Foods. I trust it pretty well. Pat LaFrida is a gigantic meat purveyor, but they're known for their sort of level of quality. And so I trust this chicken, and I just got it today. So I'm probably going to cook this to 150, 155, keep it juicy, because 165 is going to kill all the bad stuff. It's going to kill all the salmonella and all the bacteria. Not all the bacteria, but all the stuff that'll make you sick. But most of the stuff will be dead at 150, and it'd have to be pretty improperly cared for chicken. It would have to be chicken that wasn't stored properly, or went through a very unsanitary slaughterhouse, or was coming from chickens with lots of disease and lots of antibiotics and all this stuff. And palate-free meat is not bad. It is a cut above your typical supermarket chicken. So I trust it enough to go a little lower. All right, we're still at 125 on the thick guy over here. We're at 130 on this one. Yeah, see, this is the problem. You know, I kept the chicken too thick, especially because chicken tends to, or all meat contracts when you cook it. So you can see they're smaller now. They took up almost the whole bottom of the pan before. But now they're smaller because the meat's contracted. And in doing that, you know, think about it. You got something this long that becomes this long. It's expanding height-wise. So these are thicker now than when I put them in there. Ow. These are thicker now than when I put them in there. And so that just doesn't help. It just makes them cook even slower. So, you know, we're all learning a very valuable lesson here today, which is pound out or butterfly or whatever your chicken breasts if you're sauteing in the pan like this. But these are still going to be tasty, especially in the context of the quesadilla. Like, try to tell me that chicken is dry in a quesadilla, and I'll, you know, I don't know, I'll sell you a bridge. I don't know, what do people say? So, did I answer the person's question just now, or did I go on a tangent out of nowhere? Okay. Anything else? What else we got?
I saw a request for the bolognese from the Grand Tour.
Oh, that's the Top Gear guys, right? I honestly haven't watched that. Like, I was a big Top Gear head when that show was out, and towards the end, even on Top Gear, like, I'm sorry, I know I'm going to catch flack for this, but like, it got really stunty, and you know, they did all these gags that were really obviously staged, but they treated them like they weren't staged. The tone just was totally off. And in their heyday, they were doing some really goofy stuff, but it was genuine and it was not scripted. And it was a lot of fun, and I miss those days. And Grand Tour just feels like more of modern Top Gear, and there's a lot of eye rollers in there. There's a lot of dad humor that does not land. Even my dad doesn't like it, and he is a dad, so if he doesn't like it, something's wrong. I'm gonna rinse off my knife super quick here, because I want to be able to slice this chicken once I get it off the stove. Not immediately, obviously, just like any meat that has just been subjected to the trauma of pan frying or any kind of high heat cooking application. We need to let it rest for at least 5 minutes before cutting in, because otherwise we're going to lose a lot of moisture. And we've already lost enough because of my idiocy, so we don't lose any more. All right, just washing off the knife here, folks. Did not go anywhere. Stay tuned. I'll be right back. Just want a nice clean knife from a chicken. We just hit 135 last I checked, so we're getting closer and closer, but I'm going to stop at about 150. What I'd ideally like to do right now, if my oven were preheated, would be to put it in the oven, in a 350 degree oven, so we can stop hitting it with such direct heat. We can hit it with some ambient heat. I know, I'm sure people are saying that these are going to be the driest chicken breasts in the world, and I agree. Like, this is definitely not the smartest way to cook them, but they're still going to be good. They're still going to be fine. Especially if I had the opportunity to marinate them for like a solid 3 hours. The acid from the lime juice would help tenderize the chicken and mask dryness, which would be very, very helpful. Let's see here. My yard, yeah. I'm just taking a look at what you guys are saying. We got 200 Russian, what's the Russian currency? I'm not sure, but slow mo to you. Bye, Babish in chat. I'm off to work. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate it. All right, we got a $10 super chat from Michael Ackley. I owe so much to you. I went from eating fast food 3 times a day to living a healthy, happier life since I started watching you. I wish I could give you more than 10. You've given me so much. That's super kind, man. Your words would be kind enough, but thank you so much for your super chat. I appreciate any amount, and I appreciate any sentiment like that. I really appreciate it, and I'm very happy that you're making healthier choices for yourself. I hope to do the same soon. We'll see. Can you smoke a whole brisket and or a whole turkey? How about a beer can chicken? I love beer can chicken. I plan on doing pulled pork in the very immediate future, so keep an eye out for that. Heading back over to the stove now to this very dried out chicken, I'm sure. All right, we just hit 150 on this guy. Oh, 160 on this guy. So we're good to go. Let me check the thickest parts here. I'm really probing the hell out of it. Yeah, no, these guys are good to go. Let's take them off. Oh yeah. So I'm gonna just put them down here and I'm gonna let them rest. We don't want to lose any more moisture than we already have. This guy's really hot, so I'm just gonna get him out of the way. All right, so we have some chicken breasts here that we need to let cool off a bit before I can carve them up. And to keep them tender and to prevent them from being stringy, we're trying to cut, just like steak, we're trying to cut across the grain. And you can see, if you look at it, maybe once these cool down enough for me to hold them, I'll hold it up to the camera so you can see. But there's a definite sort of, there's a grain. There's a linear, straight grain that goes straight down from this center point here. Again, I have no idea on God's green earth what cut of chicken this is. It's very bizarre. I've never seen anything like it. I ordered chicken breasts. They look and feel like chicken breasts. The meat looks like white meat, but they're the weirdest shape. I can only assume they're from a tiny chicken, and it's like butterflied, not butterflied. It's, you know, it's a whole chicken breast, essentially, two breasts connected by the whatever. So we want to slice across that grain because we have this really dry, like this is great flavor in the, all this Maillard reaction out here, all this good brown stuff, but it's also dry. Like this guy right here, you know, even if I did this properly, we'd have dry meat on the outside. It's the only, it will always happen when you cook chicken breasts. You can't prevent it. You can maybe by doing sous vide, but even then you'll have a very thin layer of dry, stringy chicken on the outside. Yeah, see, it's dry as bone. But if you cut across the grain, you are cutting those strips of those strings of dry chicken into shorter pieces. It's kind of just like when you're cutting up hanger steak, you're cutting across meat fibers that if you left them whole would be tough and chewy. But if you cut them into smaller pieces, it's almost like it's pre-chewing them for you, not in a gross way, but in a practical, loving way. Let's see, let's see some more super chats. We got MD Washington gave $5 and said, can you share what you eat during your 30 diet? I'm also going off sugar this week and need meal ideas, and you have great meal ideas. I love your show. Thank you so much. And yeah, I was planning on doing probably a basics or something that covers like, you know, extremely healthy, practical, inexpensive weekday meals. So keep an eye out for that. I will say, even these dry bits that I'm eating on the outside, very, very, very flavorful. There's so much flavor in this chicken. The lime and the smoked paprika brings the smokiness to it that it almost tastes like it was grilled, and which is so great, especially when we put it in the quesadilla. It's gonna be like a nice subtle flavor, nice addition. Thank you very much for your super chat. Shoot, I'm sorry, I just saw a $10 super chat go away. I apologize to whoever that was. And whatever you said, I apologize. Let's see, what are we up to now? I'm just pulling this up, here we go. Oh yeah, we're holding strong at 4,500. Oh, come on. I'm seeing all the messages that need to be blocked, but thank you guys so much for hanging out here. I'm gonna make one more quesadilla, and then I'm gonna call it a night because we've been going for almost two. Every time I say it's gonna be a quick stream, look at us. It's been almost 2 hours, so I haven't been keeping track of how long it's been since we took these off the heat. I assume it's been about probably 3 to 5 minutes. It hasn't been that long, but you know they're cool enough to touch now, so I'm gonna start slicing them up. I'm sure it hasn't been quite long enough, but like 5 minutes is long enough for this application. So I also want to stuff them into our quesadillas. So I'm going to get these ready. Get these all laid out so that I might stuff them with things. So I've got the grain of the chicken. This must be a breast because I'm seeing two different grains in it. And I'm just going to slice right across that. See that? And I'm cutting right through the muscle fibers, so that's going to make for, you know, more tender, just easier to eat, not tough or chewy or stringy. There's this weird piece of fat or cartilage in the center here that I'm not entirely sure what it is. But now, yeah, So here, I'm going to do a close-up just so you can see what I'm talking about. You can see there's grains running that direction. You see that? That's what we want to cut across, because once we cut those muscle fibers into smaller pieces, the chicken is more tender. I'm going to try a piece of it right now. And you know what? I mean, I said it was going to be dry. It's not. It's super moist. The outside is a little tiny bit tough because we had to cook it a little too long. It definitely could be better, but it's a hell of a lot better than I thought it was going to be. I'm going to cut this weird piece of cartilage out of here. These have to be 2 breasts. Has to be off of some tiny Cornish game hen or something. All right. Cutting across the grain. Yep. Good stuff. And making into nice thin slices for our quesadillas, because we don't want to have to chew on these for 10 years when we bite into one. All right, there's the grain. Yep, right across the grain, that's what we want. Yeah, and we also want them to be thin so we don't overstuff the quesadilla. We don't want a super thick quesadilla. But this is like just perfect, all-purpose chicken for many Mexican applications, for tacos, for burritos. This is just like a super flavorful, juicy, it's just great way to cook chicken. It's my favorite all-purpose marinade method. Okay. So now, I'm going to laden these burrito tortillas with cheese in half, and that's going to protect the tortilla a little bit against the moisture from the chicken, because it is very moist. It's not dry, and as it sits there, it's going to continue to exude moisture, and I don't want to get that directly onto the tortilla. It might make it, might make it a little soggy, might make it a little oily, and this is going to act as a little bit of a barrier against that. Not much, but it's the best we can do. Then I'm going to throw down a oh, I almost dropped that. Then I'm going to throw down some of these peppers and onions from before, because why not? They're going to be a welcome addition. Oh, there's Nathan. Somebody grab that? Sorry, I had to do it, but Sawyer's going to let Nathan in. He's just in time for some quesadillas. So I'm just spreading out these peppers and onions.
Switch cameras out
here. All right, I'll stay over here. You got a few minutes. Does Vinny know how to switch cameras? All right, so got a nice layer of peppers and onions down there. And then, instead of scattering these, I'm going to be very intentional with placing them, because I want there to be a little bit of chicken in every bite. So I'm really going to fan them out and make sure that there is even coverage. Nice thin pieces of chicken. Juicy, juicy chicken, as crazy as that might sound. Turned out pretty darn good. And you guys will meet Nathan in a minute. He's going to come up here and he's going to have a quesadilla with us. Here, let me get some more chicken going on this one. I don't know if he wants to be on camera because he doesn't know he was walking into it, I don't think. But we'll see. Play it by ear. I'm not a control freak. And yeah, I just want to make sure that there's good, even coverage of the chicken. Is the elevator working again? Because I remember that the freight elevator was...
I think it was.
Okay. Yeah, and I think they were only working on it for a few select hours. All right. Yeah, he's smart. He'll figure it out. Okay. So now I'm going to top these with a little bit more cheese, both to protect the tortilla and also to just help glue everything together. It's going to help the whole thing stay together when we fry it up. What's up, dude? How you doing? So I warned you that we might be live streaming when you got here, right? Well, the quesadillas are almost done.
Nice.
If you want to come say hi, you're welcome to pop over here. If you want to be taste tester once it's done.
Yeah. Start reading out questions.
Yeah. So we're just going here. I already made some veggie quesadillas, and I don't know if they left any for you there.
Those look gorgeous.
Thank you. Nathan is one of our friends from high school. We all went to high school together, and he's here to watch the draft. We're going to be a bunch of butch boys, big, strong boys, and we're going to watch the draft. So I'm doing the same thing here. Obviously I don't want to lose moisture from the chicken, but I'm pressing these down so they all stay together. You guys will meet Nathan in a minute when he comes on and does a little taste test here. You're meeting the whole Babish cast of characters here because we're gonna have Ari, which is a mutual friend of Sawyer's and mine, or really Sawyer's friend that I've taken a shine to, and that's good. And he's a really fun guy. I'm very happy to have him in the latest episode of Being. All right, you ready to head over to the stovetop, Jake? All right, here we go. So we're heading over to the stovetop. I'm going to re-oil this pan. Nice. Generous amount of oil, but not too much. We don't want these actually deep frying. We just want enough to, generously coat the bottom of the pan. And again, I'm bringing this up. It's not smoking. It's just shimmering a little bit. That's where we want it. And again, we're cooking these slowly. We don't want to apply a bunch of heat to the chicken. We don't want to cook the chicken twice. Certainly not. But we do want to get all the cheese melted, and we want the whole thing to be cohesive, and we want a nice crust on the outside, not burnt, not too hot. There's a balance, just like my man Thanos. I shouldn't have said that. Shouldn't have said that. I don't know what I've unleashed by saying that. But anyway, guys, we're almost done here. I just want to make these last quesadillas here, and then we're going to go in there and we're going to watch sports. I'm sorry, I'm just fucking around. Let me grab my oven glove. Here we go. There we go. And like I was saying, guys, this might be my last very unhealthy meal for a while. The one exception is this Saturday. I've had a tasting menu, a tasting at a restaurant booked for some time now, for like 4 or 5 weeks. So I'm definitely going to that, but that would be the one last exception because I really want to try going completely clean for 30 days and seeing what happens. As you guys know, I love food and I love booze and I love trying things and doing things. And not that you can't do that if you're being healthy, but it's definitely a huge challenge, especially for somebody in my position that cooks for a living. But luckily I have my friends here. They're going to be able to taste test things for me. They're going to be able to, keep I'm going to be able to keep making gross and disgusting, wonderful foods like this. I mean, it's not disgusting. I'm sorry. I'm just kidding. But it is absolutely wonderful. It's one of my favorite things. This isn't quite ready yet. I really want to see some shimmer on that oil before I drop it in. Really want to see some movement. I'm just making sure that it's evenly coating the bottom of the pan. No big deal. Scooter shop, It's a scooter shop. Sawyer, is it a scooter shop? It's a scooter shop.
It's a scooter shop.
It's a Vespa store. That was my favorite thing when we found that clip. I was like, oh my God, that's so funny that he changed it up. All right. I'm dropping this in. There we go. Oh yeah, little sizzle. That's all I wanted. Little sizzle. Oh yeah. It's happening. Everything's happening. It's all happening right here on the Binge Network. And now I'm turning these initially to get the oil evenly coated on the outside. Were those last ones too oily, gentlemen? What do you think?
No, I like them. I like preserving the crunch. You need that.
Exactly. And it's like I was saying, it's almost like halfway between a tortilla chip and a quesadilla, or a tortilla rather. It's really nice. And I think I learned the basic technique from J. Kenji Lopez Alt. As you guys know, I have a great deal of admiration for him, and I've learned so many things from him. We're going to be doing an episode, hopefully in the very near future, with Ed Levine of Serious Eats, the executive editor, or the editor-in-chief, I can't remember his exact title, of Serious Eats. And it's going to be fun. It's going to be a good time, I think. All right, we need a little bit more time. That's perfect. Again, do not want these cooking too quickly. Want all that cheese to melt. I'd cover this if I could, honestly. It wouldn't hurt the texture that bad. I'm just going to clean off this area a little bit just so I have a place for everything and everything in its place. I just want to make sure that I have a place to chop up my quesadillas and serve them to my friends. All right, last of my paper towels. Sure hope no one makes a mess. I'm out of bounty. Okay, good. We're all cleaned up. And let's head back over to the stovetop because it's getting to be flip time almost. Let's take a look. Oh, there's still a piece of corn stuck to you. No, bad. All right, let's take a peek. Okay, it's getting very, very close. I just want to give it like, I don't mind flipping these repeatedly. It's just a harrowing process to flip these, so I want to minimize my risk. But I also want to maximize my browning potential. Again, I'm giving that a little turn again, as you guys know. I'm Quesadilla, sorry. And they're getting so close. I just want like a really good uniform brown color on there. Oh, and some of the cheese is starting to stick and turning brown. Oh my God, so good. All right, here we go. Let's try it out now. So I'm just gonna go like this and flipsy-do. There we go. That's good. Some great color in there, nice even color. And flip. Oh yeah, see, oh Jesus. Look at that. Come on. It's you know, quesadillas in my mind, there were restaurant quesadillas and there were home quesadillas. And home quesadillas always meant, you know, either baking them or maybe hitting them in a fry pan, but never like this. Like I never had quesadillas at home like this. This is really the way that I think about them when they're in a restaurant. And they're a little oily, but whatever, it's not gonna kill you. Like the trade-off is that you get this incredibly crispy, beautiful crust, and you're not gonna get that any other way. You bake these, you're gonna have a very sad situation on your hands. The cheese is nicely melted. I'm seeing it come out the sides there. And where's my drink? Oh, it's empty. You know what? I think, again, because this might be a last meal or something, or last alcohol for a while, I think I'm gonna switch to a beer. I have, you know, I went to college in Long Island, so Blue Point Toasted Lager is near and dear to my heart. Yeah. Ah, it's nice. That's nice. It's a summery beer, you know. It's good in the winter too, but like that's a distinctly summery beer. Okay, those are getting pretty dark on that side, so not too dark. Don't worry, promise I didn't burn them. I think they're just right. Oh yeah, perfect. Perfect, perfect. Let's get these out. Go. And get them centered because you guys know how much of a sucker I am for symmetry. There we go, right there, that's center. Oh. There we go, okay. And same deal, I'm just going to cut them into threes, thusly, and then to try, it's harder to do a cheese stretch when you have chicken in there, when you have we have lots of extra toppings or fillings besides cheese, but still gonna try. Because come on, you know, we're all about the food porn here. What else would you guys even tune in for? My voice? I don't think so. All right. Oh my gosh, we have a $50 super chat. When did this happen? Sean Carey gave $50. Thank you so much. This is incredibly generous. Thank you. Can you make more dishes from the show, Hannibal? Absolutely. I'm just intimidated as hell to do more dishes from Hannibal because he's like such a proficient cook, and also because, you know, they were focusing on food styling more than actual replicable dishes, I think, in some cases. But, you know, what I'd really like to try is the black chicken, the silky chicken soup, where it's that chicken that has like black bones and black feathers and black eyes, and it's just like jet black chicken through and through, black meat. And it's made in this, I think it's a Chinese soup, I can't remember. I remember there being star anise in it and some Chinese five spice or something. But it's supposed to be a very healthy, very healing soup, and he makes it for oh, what's his name? I haven't watched Hannibal in so long. Oh my God, I can't remember. The other main character's name. Makes it for him when he's taken ill or he was injured or something, and it just looks so good, even though the skin was still on the chicken, which was a little off-putting. But I've seen where they sell silky chickens near here in Chinatown. So I need to make that before I move out of here, which won't be for a while. I think I'm staying here for another year at least. But it's so nice to have Chinatown right around the corner and get, you know, whatever I need whenever I need. Anyway, let's stop stalling here. I'm just trying to let the cheese kind of melt together. Let's see what happens if I pull this apart. I don't think a little bit, not bad. Let's try this one. Maybe we'll have a little more luck with this one. Okay, yeah. See, again, when you got fillings, it's a little trickier, but these are still going to be delicious. All the cheese is melted. There's no solid cheese in there. There's no pieces in there. That's ready to go. I'm going to try that out. Here we go. Back over here. Whoop. That's a killer quesadilla, man. The chicken's great. Like, chicken is bringing so much flavor to it. And it's still moist. It's great. All right. All right, guys. I want to wrap this up while it's still hot so we can go and enjoy it and drink beer and be big burly guys in the other room. I just want to thank everybody for hanging out tonight. Thank you so much. Thank you to my boys in the other room for making this happen. Could not do it without you. And thank you for helping me navigate these waters. Thank you for all the super chats tonight, all the new memberships, everybody's generosity and kindness, kind words, kind gestures. I really appreciate it. I really hope you try making this for yourself. Obviously, it's an indulgence, but it's worth it. And thank you guys so much for hanging out. I hope you have a great night. And I'm going to grab a plate so I can bring these into the other room for my gents. Oh, okay, that was dumb. I didn't need to do that. There we go. And we have sour cream, and we have salsa in the other room. So I will see you guys next time on Binging, Basics, or Being. Either way, you're with Babish. Oh, I'm just keeping that. Have a good night, guys.